It's 60 minutes of financial planning. The WBBM Noon Business Hour continues.
Netflix is telling shareholders its future lies in exclusive original content, and the streaming service is making major investments to obtain and produce it. Let's break down the strategy with Tim Hanlon, Managing Director of the Vertere Group here in Chicago. Pretty significant move to original content here, Tim. What's Netflix saying it's going to do?
Hey, Cisco, the announcement yesterday, part of their earnings call, basically is just it's a monstrous quarter. They continue to add tons of subscribers, perhaps even a bit more so than they even envisioned. But the composition, the mix of the programming that's on Netflix is about, in today's definition, about 85% of that content from Netflix is licensed, which means that only 15%. And now, obviously, growing is content that Netflix is actually producing or buying directly for its own exclusive use. And their desire is to actually get that closer to more like a 50-50 split in the next couple of years, and with aggressive cash assortment to go after such. Why
the aggressive nature of this? I mean, why are they investing so much in such a short time?
Well, look, they're nearing 100 million worldwide subscribers, right? They just added 5.3 million across the globe, almost a million of those in the United States alone just last quarter. So it's clear that there is a ramp up of the interest in what Netflix offers. I think, frankly, though, it's also some bit of testament to the fact that this general and broader phenomenon of cord-cutting and or streaming video generally is growing. So I expect that we see similar growth numbers for places like Hulu and Amazon Prime and others of the sort too. But Netflix clearly being the biggest and earliest, probably benefiting the most from such.
$8 billion to make 50% of its content original programming by next year. How many of those shows have to be a hit, attract more people into the service for this to actually make sense?
So, Rob, that's a tremendous question, because Netflix is famously guarded in its ability to understand who's watching what shows, how popular each show is, and frankly not sharing that with the broader entertainment community and the studios that are pitching them. I think it's pretty clear that Netflix understands, because of streaming and the technology involved, the data about who's watching and what. And the definition of what is a quote-unquote hit show is going to be different. It could be a smaller overall number of viewers, but it could be a high concentration of certain data-driven attractive users. And I think that's what Netflix has to their advantage, and they're clearly keeping close to the vest as they look to invest in more programming.
And that is also, in a way, a hedge against losing some movies, TV shows to rival services like we already saw with Disney.
I think that's absolutely true. I think you see a lot of these quote-unquote legacy media companies recognizing that they need to be much more aggressive and more directly distributing and controlling the distribution of their own content, and pulling back from what they gave away, if you will, to Netflix for those easy checks a few years ago. They want to bring it back and own it themselves now, so no doubt.
I hesitate to even bring this up, but will Netflix at some point, do you think, have to go to ads in their service? Because at some point you're going to run out of new subscribers.
Well, Cisco, that's a very, very good question, and highly debatable depending on who you ask. But there's no mistake that there is room to grow the pricing, sadly, if you're a consumer. Arguably, it's relatively inexpensive, and probably some room to grow subscription pricing. But suffice to say, I think that advertising, judicious, targeted, and data-driven advertising, that is not replicating what we see on television with 22 minutes an hour of commercials, is absolutely got to be on their strategic roadmap. I'm certain of it. Certainly Amazon is thinking that too.
Tim Hanlon, always appreciate you being with us. Great insight. Tim is Managing Director at the Vertere Group here in Chicago.